What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. So in this video, I want to talk about Ahmaud Arbery, LeBron James, Candace Owens, and plus some afterthoughts about the previous video that I posted. Um, and all of this ultimately connects, circles back to Ahmaud Arbery. But first, I want to talk about some afterthoughts about the previous video that I posted about that painting of the little girl, the little black girl, um, you know, holding the rifle or having a rifle on her neck or whatever, and shooting the two suspicious white men who may or may not have unjustly killed Ahmaud Arbery. So when I first saw this painting, I thought a black woman painted the portrait. Caught up on some, black girl magic shit, like, yeah, black girl magic. We the backbone of the black community. Black queens, yeah, we black queens, and we love and go hard and ride and die for our black kings. Ooh. I pledge allegiance to the black king of the United States of the black king, and to the republic for which the black king stands, one nation under the black king, indivisible with liberty and justice for my black king. Yeah. So I kind of thought that the artist was a black woman, basically caught up on some shit like that. But come to find out, the artist is not a black woman, but rather a black man. So that got me to thinking. I was like, is this the artist's, or does this artist have the vision, this vision for his own possible dark-skinned daughter? Like, the thing is, I'm not really familiar with the artist as far as his like familial structure or whatever. I believe that he's married. He's married to a black woman who's, on the lighter side, kind of like safe brown. He's dark skinned. So, as I mentioned before in the previous video, they could end up having a dark skinned daughter. And that just makes me wonder, like, is this what he would want for his possible dark skinned daughter? Just, want to throw that out there. And it could be possible. It's not as far-fetched as you may think. I mean, y'all remember Giorgio Casper? That ain't too long ago. He was saying all that fucked up shit with dark-skinned daughters. He has dark-skinned daughters himself, and his opponent, who he's battle rapping against, didn't. So it isn't as far-fetched as you might think. And plus, with this whole like sexual perversion shit going on too, yeah, don't be thinking that shit ain't possible. I mean, this whole public health situation is really just showing that things aren't as stable and as set in stone as you may think, right? And as well, also, like, I also thought about during this CJ Kane, right, the prize for black women, right? So you got the CJ Kanes talking about data prize. You got Giorgio Casper talking about all these weird sexual violent things about directed towards young dark-skinned girls. Then we got this photo or this painting, you know, and you don't put the prize on the front line, right? You don't put your prize on the front line. You usually protect the prize, right? That's usually something that you would protect, not send to protect, right? And the sad thing about this is that the artist probably thought he was really doing something for dark-skinned women and girls. He probably did. He probably, yeah. He probably was like, yeah, this what's up right here. Black Power sister. Yeah. Right? He probably really thought he was doing something, positive for dark-skinned women and girls, you know. And what's even sadder is that some, black women, especially some dark-skinned black women, fell for it because this painting made them feel validated. That's the sadder part about it. That, they felt like, they were of value because of not necessarily this painting, but because of what's being portrayed in the painting, right? This is where, some women kind of go down the social justice route. Some black women do in order to obtain some validation, one form or another, right? Because, they probably aren't able to go down like, the beauty lane, So this is just another way that they'll go about obtaining validation, And it's not to bash, I'm not bringing this up to bash, more so just to bring attention to something that just needs to be addressed. And, we all obtain validation in one form or another. So, everyone does it in their own way, right? Some people go like the educational route and the intellectual route. Some people go the, athletic route, the artistic route, right? As well as other routes that people go, right? But I can already hear, these colorism crybaby niggas coming through, right? The ones who be coming through crying, there's no such thing as colorism. Stop talking about colorism so much. It's a preference. People are allowed to have preferences. You don't see us complaining about heightism and broke niggerism, do you? No. Right, you already hear them coming through. And they're coming through talking about it's just a piece of art, It's just art. It's up for interpretation and it's not that serious and this, that, and the third, right? And I'm just like, don't be so simple, you nignog. Imagery is important. The media, for instance, there's a reason why the media is controlled by the people who control the media. They make sure to put certain images in the media and to withhold certain images from the media as well. That is extremely important. As well, the imagery of, say, the Confederate flag, for instance, right? The imagery of black male actors in dresses, right? The imagery of afros, right? The imagery of the people who are on our currency. Those things aren't coincidental. Imagery is important. Imagery matters. It sends a message. And I think people know that, but I think a lot of times people like to get real simple when shit like this comes up because they don't want to really have the conversations. They don't want to have these tough conversations. They don't want to have to, admit to their own internalized anti-blackness, anti-black womanness, anti-dark skinnedness, anti-dark skinned womanness, etc. Right? Color, and own internalized colorism. I guess that's a better word to put it. Better way to put it, right? Internalized anti-blackness, internalized colorism, etc. Right? Folks don't really want to admit to that and have those conversations. That's why we kind of just end up having these like circular conversations that don't really go anywhere. And as well, an important thing to note and to be aware of and to be cognizant of is like when these sort of situations come up, like say the Giorgio Casper incident, this incident, the million other colorist incidents that come up. It's like at this point for, black women, especially darker skinned black women, it's more like, okay, it's kind of like at this point, it's your move to an extent versus using these incidents to show like, hey, colorism exists. Look at what happened here. And it's like, well, these Negroes, niggas, bitches, hoes, whatever, they already know that it exists. Just like white people already know that racism exists. And sometimes you can get caught up in like, sometimes folks trying to basically make you prove that colorism exists, and I just say all that to say, just don't get caught up in trying to prove that, just in case you may be kind of like on that, hamster wheel, stuck in that cycle, right? And as well, some people will just simplify colorism down to, darker skinned women complaining that they can't get a date. And it's much more to it than that. It goes much deeper than that. It's like, that's, the dating aspect, that's just an aspect. There's much more to it though. And it's like some women have been denied employment by black men because of colorism. Like that's not about getting a date, some women have been the victims of sexual violence due at least partially because of colorism. So it goes deeper than just the whole dating aspect. But I think we already know that. Yeah. Another thing that I kind of brought up a little previously in the video, but didn't really go into though, like, what if this girl, she doesn't exist, obviously, but she could. That's the thing too. Like, this could actually be some little black girl, But what if this girl were to actually do this, and get hurt or get killed trying to avenge Ahmaud Arbery? Who's going to come to her rescue? Who's going to avenge her? And the way that this community is, goes, they'll probably be like, no one asked her to do that. That's what she gets for being a strong, independent black woman. That the community hyped her up to be. Right? That's what you get, right? Or either, it's like, somehow, some way, just put it on her as being the problem, right? Oh, she had an attitude. She wore a weave. Right? Like that's a death sentence now. Having a bad attitude, wearing weave and makeup are now a death sentence, an on-site death sentence, right? Yeah. But on the other hand, what if she is successful in accomplishing this goal, like, but gets arrested or killed by the cops? You know, she could get life in prison or the death penalty. You know, doing all of this, you know, investing so much in a community that doesn't really do the same for you like that, you know. And again, all of this is hypothetical, of course, but that's pretty much how it would play out. You know, she wouldn't really be upheld as, you know, the next coming of Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Marcus Garvey or something like that. Nuh-uh, that wouldn't happen. And partially why that wouldn't happen is because at that point, then black men will start to feel emasculated. And then that's when the pushback happens, right? Because it's all well and good, you know, the black men, you know, black men, they'll definitely ride the wave because they're benefiting off of the wave, right? You know, and let her do the dirty work, right? They'll do that, right? So, you know, on one hand, they will push the strong, independent black woman, right? So that, you know, black men won't have to take care of their kids since the strong, independent black woman will take care of the kids, right? Since, she, you know, the black man doesn't have to pay for anything, you know, since she is strong and independent, right? But at one point or another, her strong and independence, black womanness will end up crossing the line, which will end up the dude will end up feeling some type of way, low key feeling emasculated. Then that's when the pushback happens, right? You know, so you know we gotta kind of be honest about that when it comes to you know the strong independent black woman thing in the black community, right? It's and as well, it's even in like rap songs, right? By like black male artists too. You know, she got her own. You know, she an independent woman, right? So let's be honest about that. Like, do we want the black women to be strong and independent or not? I think it's like a combination of both. You know, they want them to be the strong, independent black woman, then turn it off at one point. Just turn it off. Just shut it all the way off, right? But you know, while those black women are being strong and independent, what are the black men doing? You know, what are black men doing exactly? You know, we can't have two kings in a castle. You know, it can only be one king in a castle, and it can only be one queen in a castle, right? You know, and some black men and some black women got problems with that. You know, but that's another video. But on to the next topic here. So LeBron James, he spoke out about this situation, you know, via a tweet, you know, so far at least. And he said, quote unquote, we're literally hunted every day / every time we step foot outside the comfort of our homes, exclamation point. Can't even go for a damn jog, man, exclamation point. And he also forgot the comma after jog. Like, WTF, man, are you kidding me? Question mark, exclamation point, times 5. No, man, FR. Are you kidding me? Exclamation point times 5. I'm sorry, Ahmaud. Parentheses, rest in paradise. And my prayers and blessings sent to the ... I think that, I tried to find the other part of that. I'm assuming it was to his family and friends and family, or just his family or whatever. I'm not sure. I couldn't find the rest of it. But yeah, LeBron James, he spoke out about this situation with Ahmaud Arbery, or Arbery. I keep mispronouncing his last name. I apologize for that. I believe it is Arbery, so I apologize. But yeah, he's been speaking out about this, and you know, he has the right to speak out about what he wants to speak out about. You know, it's his platform, it's his voice, etc. You know, um, But I do think that part of the reason that LeBron James may be speaking out about Ahmaud Arbery is because look at LeBron James. Look at look at LeBron James, then look at Ahmaud. Look at Ahmaud, and then look at LeBron James. They look really similar if you look at them. They look like they probably could be brothers, you know, perhaps even the same person in in some lighting, you know. I mean, LeBron James has the beard, but you know, take that away or either give Ahmad a beard, you know. But yeah, they look like they could be the same person, and perhaps maybe that may be a reason why LeBron James felt compelled and triggered to speak, because this low key could have been him. I mean, I'm sure, you know, LeBron James is an athlete, so I'm sure at one point or another he's going for a jog, right? You know, so he probably thinking that, you know, hell, this could have been me. And perhaps it could have, you know. You know, everyone doesn't know who LeBron James is, but he's in like California, maybe. I don't know. Where does LeBron James live? I don't know. But I remember when someone spray painted the word nigger on his house. I remember that, you know. And, you know, Jason Fatblock came out and criticized LeBron James for speaking out about it, right? And he was all like, he was like, you know, you're rich, stop complaining about racism. You're rich, you don't experience racism. Where's my cheeseburger? You're rich, right? Pretty much saying that, you know, LeBron James, because he's rich, that, you know, racism isn't really a problem for him, right? And of course, you know, the thing is with that, you know, being rich can help you better navigate racism, but it doesn't eliminate racism, right? Because there's some privilege when it comes to being rich and, you know, your social class and things like that. But, you know, it doesn't eliminate racism altogether for him, right? But, you know, look at the response and interest when it comes to this Ahmaud Arbery situation. Like, so many people are coming through and, you know, speaking their piece and caping, right? And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but, you know, and as well, you do have to know that, you know, partially why this is happening is because this is quote unquote on trend right now. Just like at one point a little while ago, it was on trend to cape for Kobe Bryant, right? Right now, this is on trend. So a lot of people are some fanatical ass niggas and bitches and hoes and sluts and skeezers and skanks and fuck niggas and all that. So they following trends right now, right? That's a part of the reason why this is happening, because it's on trend now. All right. So don't get confused about that, right? But yeah, notice the interest and the response, you know, and black people. But before I get into that, though, you know, a couple of white queens came out and spoke. You know, some woke white queens came out and spoke. One woke white queen, and that's what Paris Milan says, like a white woman. But one woke white woman, white queen, who came out and spoke about this was Omari Hardwick's wife. She came out and spoke about it, and she was getting all the praises and accolades, and you know, she whoa, that's some woke white queen right there. And then, you know, Martin Luther Kim Kardashian came through and spoke about it too, and it was like, yes, Sister Kim, yes, sing it, sister. Strong black white Nubian queen, up strong black woke Nubian queen. You know, and I'm like, you know, that's cool and all, but you know, black women been doing this. Right? But where the damn accolades and all that shit for when the black women been speaking about this and created Black Lives Matter and goddamn tearing down statues and climbing up the Statue of Liberty and stuff. Right? And some black female celebrities, as well as probably some other folks, have changed their social media photos to pictures of Ahmaud Arbery. And from what I heard, a lot of these black women were, phenotypically black women. I didn't really see, from what I've heard, like, the non-black women, they ain't doing that. Just get that off the table right now. The mixed light-skinned chicks, perhaps, maybe. But, should black women wait and investigate a little bit about Ahmaud Arbery before jumping to Kate? Should black women, do some due diligence and do a little research and make sure he's not on some Stephon Clark shit? I hope not. But I can understand some black women feeling some type of way. And then I heard some black women being like, we got to cape for our black kings. We got to go hard in the paint for our black kings. This could be my son. I got a black son. Goddamn, I got a black brother. I got a black baby daddy. Oh my God, my mailman black. Nuh-uh. Right? Just going all crazy about it, right? And some black women are saying, black women can have interests and concerns and support, but like let black men lead the charge, which I completely agree with that. Like, I think this is a time when black men should lead the charge. Black men are the leaders of the black community, and this is part of the job of being the leader, right? And as well, if you really want to get into leadership, leaders have to take responsibility for when shit is bad on their team, even though it's not the leader's fault himself. Like, say, for instance, single mothers. If you are a leader of a team and you have single mothers as a problem, then you have to take responsibility for that as the leader and make sure to correct it, right? And I just put that out there to say that, if you really want to be a leader, then you have to be a leader. You can't just jump in and out of leadership when convenient. All right. You got to be in it to win it. You got to be in it all the way to the end. If not, don't come. But, has anyone brought up, what Ahmaud was wearing when this happened? Was he sagging his pants? Was he wearing a hoodie? Like maybe a do-rag or something? Maybe if he, were wearing different clothing and maybe presented himself a little better, perhaps this wouldn't have happened. Has anyone said that? Because when black women get caught up in some situations like this, all of a sudden everything's on the table and everything's up for criticism, right? Because if this was a black woman that got caught up, it would have been like, oh, she was fucking them two YKB, she was turning tricks, she was a prostitute, she was a hoe. Just very much thinking of reasons not to support, right? The black woman could be 100% innocent, just got caught up in the wrong situation at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's just like the assumptions, assumption of innocence for black women, it doesn't seem to be as strong, right? It's more like the opposite, the assumption of guilt. And you have to prove your innocence, black woman, right? For a black king to come through and support. Even when the black woman is like innocent, the support, it be lacking. That should be lacking. Be slacking. Hey, don't be stacking. I'll tell you that. um, but one black woman who has something to say about this, strong black power sister, all right, strong black queen who got something to say about this is Miss Candace Owens. All right, Miss Candace Owens has shared some thoughts on social media about this, right? And she was all like, fuck these niggas, these niggas ain't shit. Kiss my ass, kiss my ass. I'ma speak the truth, right? Candace Owens, you may or may not know, Candace Owens is a swirler. Did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah, Candace Owens, she got on that no nigga diet and is living the best nigga free lifestyle that a woman could ever live. God damn it. And she collecting them white folks conservative checks too. And she married to like some conservative white nigga too. So you know, that's Candace Owens right there. But let me share with you what Candace Owens had to say about this. All right. So Candace Owens says this via Twitter. Ahmaud Arbery was caught on camera breaking into an unfinished property that was owned by Larry English. His mother has confirmed it is him in the video. Please stop with this quote unquote just a jogger bullshit narrative. Avid joggers don't wear khaki shorts and stop to break in homes. Okay, that's what Candace Owens said, right? The Black Queen Candace Owens said that. And she also went on to address LeBron James in a tweet as well. Lastly, to @King James, who will never be what Kobe and Jordan were off the court because he lacks intellect. Kobe and Jordan off the court were probably apolitical when it came to black issues. I'm just saying. Bro, you have multiple homes, white personal chefs, gardeners, and housekeepers. If that's an example of quote unquote literally being hunted by white people, then sign me up ASAP. Okay, so Candace Owens, she going in. All right. Candace Owens is not on that Black King Pledge Allegiance shit. Right now. And she also goes on to say, Black America, when 9-year-old Tyshawn Lee is lured from a basketball court down an alleyway and shot dead by a black gang member, crickets. Black America, when a repeat burglar is shot dead after breaking into a home, racism, injustice, protest. Our culture is a joke. And, the thing is with this, I do think Candace Owens low-key does have a point about kind of like the selective outrage type thing, where it's like some things that black people are outraged about is like, well, would we be outraged about it if it was done by somebody else? And not to say that racism isn't a thing and that it shouldn't be outraged. You shouldn't be outraged by it and things like that. But I can understand that aspect of it when it's like, it seems like folks kind of pick and choose what to be outraged about versus just everything, versus being outraged for things that are outrageous, right? And I think people selectively do the outrage because I think in a case like this with Ahmaud Arbery, black people aren't implicated, right? Black people are the victim in this case. So, okay, it's fair game for outrage. But in the whole Tyshawn Lee situation, black people were to blame, as well. That young black girl being jumped by 15 black boys as well. Black boys were to be blamed. Especially when black boys are to be blamed, then it's not so much outrage, right? And as well, it's like when the black women and children are the victims, I'm not sure if the outrage is as strong, especially when the black victims are, women and young black girls, the outrage doesn't seem to be as strong. When the victims are adult black men, the outrage seems to be stronger as well. Even if the victim is a young black man, the outrage isn't as strong, perhaps, but it's still something there, right? Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, that's just what Candace Owens had to say about this situation. Candace Owens, a black queen, she just had to come through and deliver the sermon for y'all today. You know, Candace Owens with her white daddy and just letting y'all know what's up about Blackistan, right? She laid up with white daddy in Swirltopia, but she still got to come through and speak the real about Blackistan and what goes on in Blackistan, because she says she used to be a member of Blackistan for a long time. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So thanks for watching, you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section about all of this. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now. And oh yeah, one more thing. Candace Owens, she cooning for a white chick. She cooning for them nice white conservative chicks, right? And as well, I really don't think that Candace Owens, I don't know if she really brings anything really new and innovative to conservatism. I think kind of like low-key just taking talking points from other more prominent conservatives, you know. But it's a paycheck, I guess. I mean, I don't think I would go about getting a paycheck like that, but that's why I'm on YouTube versus Candace. Well, Candace Owens is actually on YouTube too, but she getting them checks though. So yeah, from PragerU. That's her employer, right? But yeah, I just want to come through and say that. So thanks for watching. Adios and goodbye for now.